Hi guys, this is Hiro. How's everyone doing? Balak Cho, Sub Kese Ho. So today I have an interesting video, which is the video of accepting versus suppressing. Okay, as you guys may have heard in some of my previous videos, you hear me talking about the concept of accepting, right? Which is something that even if you haven't heard me in any of my videos before, um, it's a concept that I highly, highly, highly encourage. Okay, so what does this mean? Just at a general glitch. If your mind is throwing stuff at you, right? Like, oh, you're gonna be a failure, you're gonna do this, you're gonna make this mistake, everyone's gonna laugh at you, whatever. You wanna accept it, right? But what we tend to do in this day and age, and just the ego in general, it tends to lean towards extremes, right? The ego loves extremes, right? The mind loves extremes. So instead of accepting, the two extremes of accepting are believing everything your mind tells you, right? This could end in disaster. Or suppressing everything the mind throws at you, okay? This is also going to end in disaster, okay? I'm going to focus more on the suppressing because the believing, I've already made a video on, and you can watch that, just accepting versus believing. And my channel name. But just at a short glimpse, you don't want to believe everything your mind tells you, right? Because then you're just your mind is in control of you, right? You're just listening to everything your mind says as if it's your master. Okay, this is obviously not good. Now, I'm going to get to accepting versus suppressing in a second, but suppressing, the problem with that is that if you suppressing and accepting, you're kind of under the same root, I guess you can say, general premise of, okay, we want to detach from whatever our mind throws at us, which is great, right? But the thing between suppressing and accepting, and this is huge, right? Because oftentimes in meditation, people will a lot try to suppress what their mind throws at you. And if you don't accept, and meditation is a great time to accept because you slow down, everything slows down, and you can truly accept as it is. You're not suppressing at all. But what sometimes people do is that they force themselves to suppress, and their ability to suppress gets stronger, which can lead to huge disaster over time, possibly. So suppressing is basically, okay, if your mind throws something at you, you could do one of a few things, but it's something along this lines. You either try to fight it temporarily and hope it goes away, or distract yourself and hope it goes away, or just hope it goes away and you just kind of do something and you kind of tell yourself that, hey, you know what, that's not true, or whatever like that. But you see a big problem here, and that's when you try to suppress, you're either A, trying to run away from the mind, or B, your mind's still in control of you, because even if you're telling yourself, hey, it's not true, blah, 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 your mind is still in control of your consciousness. Your consciousness is constantly just fighting off the mind over and over. And your mind's never going to quit as long as you're in this birth. Okay? So your mind is still kind of in control of you. Not as much, but still a good extent, because you're constantly just trying to fight the mind and it's getting what it wants. It's getting your attention, right? Even though you're a little bit more aware and it's not super duper in control of you, it's still pretty in control of you. Or like I said, you're trying to run away from it, right? You're trying to just distract yourself or suppress it, do whatever you can, do certain activities to make you not think about it. Okay, these kind of things. It's still in control, but you're just trying to run away. So you're either just trying to run away or you're trying to fight it. Okay? It's kind of like fight or flight, okay, which is a very like primal, I guess, thing to do. But when it comes to this spiritual journey and mental journey, you basically want to accept. Okay? Now, what do I mean by accept? So it's great that you're suppressing. You're acknowledging that you're able to deal with the mind a little bit. Okay? But suppressing goes way, way, way. Accepting goes way, way, way deeper than suppressing, because it's basically acknowledging all of your fears and you're just letting the mind be as it is. So now what do I mean by this? Let's just say your mind is constantly throwing at you. Let's just say you went through a bad breakup. I'll just give you this example, right? And your mind is throwing at you, hey, you know what? This person is going to find someone better than you. Okay, this is just something I just made up right now. Suppressing would be, oh, you know, they're not, you know, get like you know, they're not, right? Like you either try to justify it to yourself how great you are, or saying, hey, you know what, this might not even happen, blah blah blah. But that fear is still in your head, like, hey, you know what, this still might happen. But it's just you're just trying to fight it off. What you want to do is you want to just accept it. Hey, you know what? If they find someone better than me, that's completely great. They can find the bestest person in the world, the best looking, most money, like most highly respected or unrespected, I guess, and possibly depending on like how your mind is thinking. But the best person ever, like they might find that. And that is okay. Because what you're doing now is you're breaking down the ego. Because the ego loves to think that, oh man, the world revolves around us, this person, whatever. And you're breaking down the ego, acknowledging that, yeah, you know what, there's someone better than me. There's someone that this person might enjoy more than me, blah, blah. This is just one single example, okay? But you want to use this for everything. And assuming you're at the state of awareness where you're recognizing what your mind is throwing at you, right? And the certain fears and stuff. Let's just say you have like your mind is throwing at you like, oh, you know what, you're this this person at your job, they have a better chance of getting the promotion than you. Okay, believing it would be, yeah, you know what, yeah, I'm believing it, right? Like, and then you might live out of fear. You might, you know, kiss up to your boss and stuff like this, all kinds of not good stuff, right? Suppressing it is like, hey, you know what, that's not necessarily true. I'm still working hard, blah blah blah. But, or, you know, you might just kind of, you know, focus on other things to kind of get your mind off of that while you're at work. But the fear is still there, right? Even if you try to shove it down. So what you want to do is you want to just accept it. Hey, you know what? If this thing happens, that is okay. Now, this might sound crazy, right? Oh, how can you just accept that, you know, somebody else might get the promotion over you? That's, you know, that's nonsense. But if you don't accept, you're actually acting out of fear. We've been trained so much in the society today to act out of fear. Okay, which is not good. Okay, what happens is when we accept, we don't even know how to act besides out of fear because we've been so trained to act out of fear. But what we need to do is we need to just accept, and then as we release that fear, all the other emotions and balances inside, energetic balances inside us, I guess you can say, will start to stabilize, and you'll start to be a little bit more aware of how to conduct yourself properly instead of just purely out of fear. Okay, I'll give you one more example. Let's just say this is the main fear, like, of all time. Okay, if you stayed till this much of the video, this is like a bonus, I guess you can say. Fear of someone leaving you, right? Let's say you're in a relationship or you're married, or this could even be like with a kid or a best friend or your parent or anybody, but mostly someone you're in a long-term relationship with, or even possibly short-term relationship with. Fear of them leaving you, okay? Believing it would be, oh my God, they're gonna leave me. Let me do this, let me do that, let me do this for them, blah, 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 right? Okay. Suppressing it would be like, oh no, this is not gonna happen, blah, blah, blah. And you just kind of try to distract yourself or kind of justify to yourself that you're crazy, or just distract yourself and do certain things from occasionally for validation to justify you fighting off that thought of they're not going to leave me. Like maybe, oh, you know what, go on a really happy, nice date or vacation with this person. And then, hey, you know what, we had a good time. They're probably not going to leave me. But that fear is still there. Okay, but you're doing things a little bit still to justify the fact that from time to time that they're not going to leave you. But for the most part, you're not quite as crazy as the believing person, because the believing is that you are dead set of everything your mind says at you. And usually it's a little bit of in between. You're doing a little bit of suppressing and a little bit of believing, okay? But the suppressing you are like just saying, hey, you're constantly possibly in your head. And how constantly you're doing it depends on how off balance you are spiritually and mentally. But at least from time to time, you're telling yourself, hey, you know what? They're not gonna leave me. Like I'm like let's just get over it. You know, they're not gonna leave me. Whatever. Okay, let's just keep hammering that point in our mind, and hopefully this fear will go away. It won't, but you just kind of hope that fear will go away. That fear is still in your mind a little bit, right? What you want to do is just accept. Hey, if this person leaves, that's great. I'm purely okay. Okay, and a lot of you guys will be like, yeah, you know what? I'm okay consciously, but subconsciously, there's something inside you that tells you might have a little bit of an adjustment period, right? So what you want to do is, as you do this, and ideally if you do this during meditation, hey, if this person leaves me, I'm okay. Some thoughts and emotions might start coming up, like exactly what you will miss the most, I guess you can say, or what you're the most attached to from this person, that if they leave, you'll feel avoiding this. It could be, you know, something emotionally you could miss, something physically you can miss, or something mentally or from an ego perspective that you can miss from this person, right? Like you could be getting a confidence boost from them. You could be able to be super intimate around this person that you can't. Physically, this person may be really attractive that you might have a fear that you might not find someone this attractive ever again. Stuff like this. These are all fears, okay? And you want to accept these fears. Now, you might be saying, oh, well, Hiro, this person is really good looking. I really might not find anybody better than them, okay? Like, seriously. That's great. You still want to accept that fear. And then the next level further is accepting the fact that, hey, it's okay if I don't have the best looking person of all time, okay? I understand that's just my ego talking. That's just my mind talking. It's okay if I never connect with someone like this ever again, okay? I understand that it was my ego in my mind that was super invested with this person, and it's okay if I'm not that attached to another person ever again. Or it's okay if this person had so much money and so much clout and status and prestige, and I might not ever come across somebody with this level, okay? It's okay. I understand that these are very ego-based things, very mind-based things that I might not get, but that's okay, because now I'm elevating myself spiritually and I'm pursuing someone, for this specific example, that is more aligned with my spiritual self and not with my more primal lower chakra self, okay? And you can watch my video on lower chakra theory or whatever to kind of understand how to detach from your lower self. But for this video's sake, this is how you kind of accept the right way, and then keeping accepting at deeper levels, okay? So like, accept the main thing. Hey, it's okay if I don't find someone like this ever again, for this specific example. And then, hey, it's okay if like you might find the fear of like, okay, you might not really find someone like this ever again, right? And then accept that, hey, it's okay if I'm fully moving on from this side of me. Like, it's okay if I accept not finding this from anybody else ever again. And then accept, hey, it's okay if I don't even want this thing ever again from anybody else. Okay, I hope that made sense, because as you accept, you're going to notice you're changing as a person, right? Like, for example, you're accepting a lot of your fears. You're no longer living out of fears. There's a lot more that stems from this. You're no longer living just out of any of your lower chakras in general. You're not living out of the ego and mind and searching for physical or emotional or mental things anymore. You're searching for more spiritual fulfillment, which can be a little bit foreign to most of us. Okay, as you accept. But like I said, as you start to not suppress and start to actually accept, you'll just learn how to deal with it along the way. This is just also one of those things that you kind of just figure it out as you go. Okay, it's just kind of like parenthood, right? Or parenthood. Like, you can read a book on how to be a parent, but you can't really understand what it's like to be a parent until you either are a parent or somehow got put in a role of parenthood somehow. Okay, it's the same thing here with accepting. You just have to kind of start accepting it, and then the ball will keep rolling, and then you'll do it. But I'm just kind of giving you some tips and guidelines, because I know it's scary and all this kind of stuff. Okay, but you just want to, basically, in the name of the game, accept your fears. But like I said, do not suppress it. Do not try to, like, for the person who's, let's just say, that's leaving you, or that you're scared that you might not find anybody like this ever again, or that they're going to leave you, blah, blah. Do not try to, when your mind throws at you, and at the beginning you're going to do this a little bit, okay, especially as your awareness evolves, because you just don't know how to deal with it, and it's just too much kind of coming up. But your mind's kind of going to just try to run away from it. You'll start thinking about this, your mind will get on a racing tangent, and then it'll get suppressed. Okay, you'll kind of do a little bit of believing and suppressing, and then it'll just kind of fade away. But over time, you'll notice that thought or whatever will just stick around for longer. And if you notice that, don't try to just do something else to distract yourself and suppress it even more. Just be like, hey, let's deal with this. Let's acknowledge it. Let's accept this thing, and then let's accept the root of this thing. Like, hey, you know what? It's okay if I don't even want something like this in a person ever again, because I know it doesn't fulfill me spiritually ever again. Okay, so that's kind of like the flow here of accepting versus suppressing. Okay, but yeah, the main name of the game is here that you basically just want to whenever you notice it coming up at the beginning, like I said, you could either believe it or you could either suppress it, but slowly over time you'll realize not to believe it, but then you'll kind of transition into the suppressing department. But then over time you'll realize, hey man, look, I should really not suppress it. And sometimes the suppressing just happens automatically, right? This is why meditation is important, because it kind of snaps you out of that automatic routine when it comes to mental things. Okay, also, but just as your awareness grows, you'll realize, okay, from your suppressing, I realize I'm suppressing this. Okay, that's already step one. Then be like, okay, let's really just sit down and deal with this and accept it. Because once you accept it, it really gets the ball rolling, okay, and kind of undoes a lot of those negative mental and spiritual patterns that we might have. And then you'll start to notice, oh man, my awareness is even increased because I accepted this fear. I'm learning how to no longer live out of fear, which is making me realize even more that I'm suppressing, and I'm suppressing even more. And then it's just a huge, huge, huge compound effect, okay? So I think that's it for this video. I think I covered enough. Like I said, if you want more information on the believing side of it, I have a video about accepting versus believing that I made, I think sometime last year, if I had to guess, okay? But if you have any questions or comments, as usual, feel free to let me know. And until next time, I'll talk to you guys later. Thank you so much for watching.